All right, they'll wait. All right, fine.
McCumber?
Yeah.
Unless somebody showed up.
Yeah, we can call Tim back. Tell him to turn back around.
Did you make a question?
Did I?
I did.
I was gonna say, I'm doing the minutes. We split duties. And she did, yes.
I did.
Hi.
You're on time.
Everyone looked and see, wow, the door is scary.
I saw that the U.S. government lifted the testing restrictions.
I know.
I thought Sheila had said something last week.
That's good.
Yeah, she said to review it.
Yeah, that's the
Fair
scary
free.
part.
Free.
Flying overseas is still
Yeah,
a big risk.
And the prices.
Well, the meeting was set for
They're
last
higher than
Tuesday.
I would think they would be.
And then they got the,
They're like, oh.
we need the new guy, so I don't know if you got the
Just
memo.
all nervous about
Well,
it.
I
emailed
emailed
everybody.
emails to everybody.
Yeah,
She's gonna like your ice
I
cream.
hear you.
It's nice to do it,
Right.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Enough for a quorum, right? Yeah.
Let me get this started.
You wanna call him back here? I'll wait for you to,
No, go ahead, I'll step.
okay.
I gotta start it up first.
Slacker.
Why do you want to start too early?
I'm just glad I'm not sitting between.
Good to go.
I'll give it back, promise.
Okay, I'm gonna call the, it's 5:05, I believe.
5:01.
That too, 5:01. Meeting of the Law Enforcement and Judiciary Committee. Are we in compliance with the open meeting law?
Yes, we are.
Okay, I have an agenda before us. Make a motion to accept the agenda.
So move. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Number 3, adopt minutes of the previous meeting.
So move. Second.
That a boy. Keep up the good work. Now we're going to have a presentation of life-saving awards for Deputy Andrew Coolis and Deputy Aaron Brooks. I think that's you, Chip.
Yep. Mr. Chairman, I was here just a few weeks ago giving awards to 2 deputies, life-saving awards to 2 deputies, so it's pretty cool that I get to do this again and show the kind of work that these guys do day in and day out. So I'll call Deputy Aaron Brooks and Deputy Andrew Coolis up by me. Do Aaron's first. Come on up. I'll read to you the synopsis of basically what happened. Deputy Brooks is assigned to the jail. On April 15th, 2022, he was in the changeover room with a male inmate. As part of that process, the inmate was to receive a shower. Deputy Brooks spoke with the inmate while the inmate was taking the shower, as the two were visually separated for privacy reasons. After a while, Deputy Brooks noticed the inmate had taken his towel from the window ledge. Deputy Brooks asked the inmate if he was about done, and he received no response. Deputy Brooks looked into the shower to make sure the inmate was okay and found the inmate hanging from the shower curtain rod by a towel. Deputy Brooks radioed for assistance, entered the shower stall. He managed to lift the inmate up and loosen the towel that was around the inmate's neck. Deputy Brooks lowered the inmate to the ground and checked for signs of life, and then started to care for him, obviously. When the nurse arrived on the scene, she took over the care. The male inmate was transported to the local hospital, evaluated, and later returned to jail. It is without doubt that if Deputy Brooks did not intervene when he did, this inmate would have died from hanging. It is my great pleasure to award Deputy Aaron Brooks the Life-Saving Award for his quick actions on April 15th, 2022, that directly contributed to saving the life of a human being. The next one is, just hang around, you guys both get to talk. I'm not doing all the talking. I'll introduce you to Deputy Andrew Koulis. He's assigned to the Patrol Division. On the evening of April 9th, 2022, Deputy Koulis responded to a residence in the village of West Bearville for a report of a male subject who was reportedly trying to kill himself. Deputy Koulis arrived within minutes. Upon entry into the home, Deputy Koulis observed the male subject standing in the living room, sharpening a large kitchen knife. Deputy Koulis attempted to verbally persuade the subject to drop the knife, but was unsuccessful. The subject raised the knife towards his own neck, and Deputy Koulis deployed his taser. After the initial ineffective taser deployment, the subject turned to face Deputy Koulis. Deputy Koulis then observed that the subject was actively trying to cut his own neck and throat with the knife. Deputy Koulis deployed a second taser cartridge, which was effective as the subject stopped harming himself, dropped the knife, and was able to be secured in handcuffs. Deputy Koulis then began rendering first aid, which included applying pressure to the significant neck laceration to this individual. Throughout this incident, the subject indicated an attempt to harm himself and his desire to die. Deputy Koulis' intervention in this incident prevented the subject from harming himself any further. The cut had nearly struck arteries and other vital structures in his throat. Although the armed subject presented a potential threat to his own personal safety, Deputy Koulis chose to use an electronic control device in an attempt to stop and further disarm the subject. The subject survived his injuries after receiving additional emergency medical care at a regional hospital. Deputy Koulis directly contributed to the life-saving of this individual by preventing any additional injuries and rendering first aid. I am pleased to present Deputy Koulis with the Life-Saving Award for his brave and professional actions. Thank you, guys. It's your floor.
I appreciate the pen. I love being a cop. I think it's the best job in the world, and it's full of a lot of boring stuff, a lot of paperwork, and then once in a while you're just in the right place at the right time to make that difference. I think just that's why we're all there, why we all do this job, is so we can get in there and actually make a difference and protect people even if it's from themselves. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I'd like to echo that too. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've worked for the Sheriff's Department almost 14 years. Been involved in a lot of different situations. And it's probably the closest that's came to somebody, dying on me. So, it's a good feeling when they make it.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Congratulations to both the officers. Number 5, public comment. Any public comment? Number 6, communications. Who's going first? Chip? That a boy.
Sorry.
Thank you.
You can go first.
No, I have no.
I have a few. Jess has a couple. This one was to the Sauk County Sheriff's Department. Thank you for your assistance last weekend at the Celebrate a Nurse event in Reedsburg. Thank you for helping our participants stay safe. We appreciate all you do. Sincerely, Shauna Marcourt, Madison College. The next one is thank you for being part of our celebrating the services parade. We really appreciate it. Jeff Piercy, Chaparral Campground, special thanks for the SWAT vehicle. It was a big hit with all the kids. Thanks again.
I have 2 rural safety days. One, we've learned advice to keep us safe. Thank you for doing what you do. You were very nice for what you did. Thank you for giving us gifts in our goodie bag. Your support inspired us to stay safe. We hope all 3rd graders are thankful. That was North Freedom 3rd graders. The other one is a couple notes in here. Thank you for helping all the children that was very excited to go to Sauk County Rural Safety Week. Thank you so much for teaching us today. We really like coming for all the fun stuff. Today we really love Rural Safety Day. Thank you so much for Rural Safety Day. We appreciate you very much. It doesn't say what school it's from, but it's signed by a bunch of third graders. That is all.
Thank you. Number 7, review and approve expenses for the circuit court.
The expenses were
Typically.
$2,939.54.
Typically, they don't come to make any kind of statement on their invoices.
Oh, okay. Well, it's on the agenda, so we'll just
I will
announce
note
it.
there, I didn't get them from accounting actually, there should have been jury payment vouchers for approval. Do you have those?
That's a copy of their invoice list.
Yeah, no. Typically from accounting, I submit jury invoices for approval, but now that this is brought up, I didn't get them this month from them, but I can have them put May and June on next month.
Okay.
For juror vouchers.
You've got May in here.
Is there May?
Yeah, there,
Jury
May?
meals and lodging is all
Oh, that's.
for May. And it-
May and-
into
Oh,
June
no,
1st.
I don't.
Green Vine, Domino's
No,
Pizza.
that would be something
that's
different. So just for clarification, the meals and lodging is to the circuit court budget, which you're gonna see on the circuit court invoices. Something separate that we have to send through for approval is the actual juror payment voucher per juror that appeared for May services, which is normally separate. But I did not receive that from accounting, but I will, like I said, I will have May and June uploaded for next month.
okay, moving on.
You want to do a motion in a second for the approval?
Well, I don't know.
$2939.54.
Oh, that one, yeah. Motion to pay the invoice.
I move that we accept that.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Departmental update from Register and Probate.
Good afternoon. In terms of our report for the month, our office handles both juvenile and adult cases. We have a 5% overall decrease from last year. However, our juvenile delinquencies, our juvenile guardianships, our juvenile injunctions or restraining orders, and our adult guardianships are up from last year. So that is our status at the moment. Case numbers can change from month to month. Probate is a pretty fluid case type, and so are will filings. If individuals have wills, those get filed. We're finding that a lot of individuals don't just file the will after the decedent, after the individual passes. So frequently we get wills filed much later than the death. In terms of our invoices for the month, they're up from last month. We're seeing a fairly significant trend in terms of our legal expenses. Those are usually involving our children in need of protection or services cases. We're having larger family units, and we're having more time invested by the attorneys, thus our expenses are going up. At the rate we're going, I'm anticipating that we'll probably exceed our budget for the year, even though we exceeded, or we extended that for the year. We weren't anticipating the number of cases that are being filed, and the effort that's being exerted by the attorneys. Other than that, we have nothing on the horizon. We have a potential jury trial in July, but hopefully that will get resolved and we won't need to go to jury trial.
Need to make a motion for the invoices for Register Probate.
I move that we pay the invoices as shown. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Number 10, I think we'll just go right into 10 and 11. Departmental update in review and approve expenses for child support.
Good afternoon. So in the month of May, our collections were up almost 5% from the previous year, so that's good news. We're up almost 7% overall for this year in collections from the previous year. Some upcoming things, we have Christine Greaves, who's retiring after 20 years of dedicated service. Her last day will be July 1st. Her position has been part-time for about the last 7 or 8 months as we've been trying to convert to electronic filing. That position refill is going to be on hold while we decide what we're going to do with electronic filing. As far as our numbers for collections and our federal performance, we're on track to not only meet but exceed those numbers by the end of the federal fiscal year, which is good news for our incentive payments for the next year. As far as our budget numbers, things are looking great. We do expect that we'll come in under budget again this year as we have in the previous years. All of our invoices for the month of May were standard and nothing was out of the ordinary.
Anybody have any questions?
And when you say it was up 5%, is that in net or is that the percentage of what's expected to be paid? 5%?
That's what we actually received, up 5% from what we received in 2021 of the month of May.
I see invoices for $4,187.84. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to pay the invoices.
And a second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Switch it up.
Yeah, switching it up.
Yep, keep you on your toes.
12 and 13, departmental update, review and approve expenses for court commissioner.
Good afternoon. You have before you my report, which the numbers seem to be fluctuatingly consistent, just depends upon the needs of people who are coming in for initial appearances, any family law matter. The prior committee had wanted me to keep you updated on a grant I had applied for a pro se family law clinic, and I haven't heard back yet on that. So we're just waiting to hear if we are awarded that grant, and then hopefully we'll take off and start getting that formed. There is a committee of people that is working on it, but we just are waiting to see if we get that money or not. The budget seems to be pretty much on track, and the invoices that are before you are just our usual mediation fees, and for this month it's my annual bar dues.
Any questions? I see invoices for $691.33.
I make a motion that we approve the invoices.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Review and approve expenses, or I'm sorry, for district attorney and departmental update for district attorney. What's that, clerk of courts? Wow. Let's do clerk of courts first.
Hi, I'm Carrie Waslick, the clerk of court for a few unfamiliar faces. Monthly report. So this is the time of year, right, where the budget starts to get exciting. So the appointed counsel expenses and interpreter expenses so far for the year are up. We have seen a lot of closure of cases, which is good. The attorney bills that you'll see as part of my invoices, which on my monthly report, you're gonna see that they're like up dramatically from last year. We had some delays with cases with the court system from COVID, but now we're like full speed ahead. Jury trials are going crazy and cases are rolling and closing. The good news is that we try to stay on the attorney bills to keep them within the same budget year. So attorney invoices for this month are over 15,000. Another thing for our invoices, which we see monthly, is the guardian ad litem, which is the first part of my invoices. Every month you're going to see $17,100 on GAL contracts, and that's because we have 6 county GALs, which are attorneys for children in family cases and some of Mr. Daniel's cases. So that's contract amount. So every month you'll see $17,100 towards that. The other thing that's up on our budget right now, and actually I noted it on the monthly report, is the interpreter fees and travel. So through COVID for the last few years, our expenses were really down because we were able to do a lot of Zoom appearances for our interpreters. But the judges do prefer to have those interpreters in person for complicated hearings or sentencings. So our expenses are definitely going to show up from last year. That's the only line item that's looking a little bit, interesting right now. Other than that, the budget, as it looks on the committee budget report, is looking good. Revenues are where they need to be, for sure. A little steep on some of the line items, but so far the budget's looking on track. A little bit tighter than what I like to see at this time, but we do have state grants and aids that are expected to come in July, so that kind of lets us see where the budget is at that time. So nothing new other than all of that.
Any questions? We'll take a motion to pay the invoices
I'll move that we pay the invoices.
I'll second.
for $41,583.89. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now we'll go on to District Attorney Departmental Update, Review and Approve Expenses.
I'm Mike Albrecht, I'm the DA. This is Yvonne Newman, she's our office manager. You have our monthly report. It's essentially gives our case filing statistics. It's not a perfect analysis of what we do, but it's probably the easiest thing to show you. What's interesting, I think, and Supervisor Schell's heard me talk about this before, obviously with on the previous committee. I think the best analysis for workload for us is felony cases, because those are the most complicated and most serious. Felony cases are kind of on track of where they were last year. I thought they were down, but actually we're within 3 cases of where we were at this exact date last year in terms of felonies, and that's interesting because last year we had 811 felony cases filed, and that's the most by about 200 than we had in any previous year. So we are on track for having another big year, it looks like. And what's also interesting is we just had 3 attempted homicide or completed homicide jury trials in the last 2 months. And so our focus has been on prosecuting those cases, not necessarily filing new ones. And so I actually think that number is probably going to go up at a more significant rate in the next few weeks as we get kind of more caught up within the backlog of the office. But other than that, if in past committees, I think in March I gave sort of a more detailed, lengthy, and perhaps boring analysis of our office. If you're interested in that, I can certainly give you some of that paperwork. But felony cases are sort of the big, I think, thing to track for us. And I can let Yvonne talk about the budgets and invoices.
As far as the invoices are concerned, I think the total was about $750 for this month. It involved transcripts, which are items that come from the court reporter from hearings, and I believe there was some supplemental book items that we get from the Wisconsin State Bar, and then I believe the other thing was just office supplies. And as far as the committee budget report is concerned, we appear to be on track with that budget. The grant and aid column, the only 2 revenue line items that we actually receive are state aid from the Victim Witness Program, and then any reimbursement we get for discovery costs for police reports and copies, things like that. So we did actually receive slightly more from Victim Witness state aid for the first half. I think we budgeted 42%, and it came in at 47%, so that revenue is slightly above the halfway mark for the year. But other than that, the budget looks on track.
Any questions? We have a motion to approve the expenses.
I make a motion to approve the expenses.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Operations update from Sauk County Animal Shelter. I see Rose.
She was gonna be here a little bit late, meaning 5:15, she told me. The report is on granting this.
Anybody have any questions about that? Okay, we'll move on. Departmental update for the coroner and approve expenses for the coroner. Good, right? Good thing.
They're required month, actually. That changed.
Anybody have any questions? Make a motion to pay the invoices for $1,120.28.
Okay, I'll move that we pay those invoices.
All in favor?
Second. Nope.
It's a formality. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Gotta do it quick.
Our numbers are all running about the same as last year.
Okay, departmental update from the sheriff.
Our calls for service for last month, or the month of May, was 6,236 calls for service. The expenses for last month were $133,871.03. If you have the bills in front of you, if you have any questions, I'll certainly answer them. One of the big things that I'll explain to you guys that you might not know, like our highway safety grants, we get, let's say, each department in the county, for instance, gets $10,000. All that money comes to us, and then we pay out the departments for it. So that's why you see bills on here to Lake Dalton or City of Reedsburg or whatever. That's why you see those expenditures. Something you should be aware of for budget purposes, I told Brent, I think about a week ago, that if gas prices stayed the same, we'd be over our fuel budget September 14th-ish. Obviously, they didn't, so that's probably down to September 1 now. I'm working with the U.S. Marshals, and it looks like they're going to give us some more inmates to house between now and then to hopefully cover some of that loss. But we'll see what happens there. As you know, we all carry tasers. The taser contract is a 4-year or 5-year? 5-year contract. We pay $15,000. We lease them. We pay $15,000 a year. We just signed a new contract with them, and that contract is skyrocketing to
41. Is it 41 a year?
$41,000
First
a
year,
year.
16,800, now it goes to 41.
But they are going to, because we signed it now, they're going to give us the first year at $15,000 yet. So we'll have that added expense. Those are the two big things right now that you should be aware of. So you'll see increases in our budget for those.
Any questions?
How do you cover all that extra gas expense? Where does it come from?
So what we're doing is, Kim Gaffney is the U.S. Marshal for this district, and we asked for more inmates if he had any. He is going to give us 10 males and 3 females to house, and that will be between now and the end of the year. That should be $186,000 if we maintain those 13 additional. So that's what we're trying to do. I mean, you know, the guys all know to restrict the mileage the most they can, but it's call driven.
The one thing we did this year was decrease our fuel budget from 2021 to 2022 by 15,000 because we were always under.
Bad timing.
Not a good year to do that.
It's, you put the number out there, and it's like
I
every
guess.
year we've been under, we've never went over 185, and this year.
Killing it this year.
Yeah. Also, Rose just messaged saying she's on her way. I said, you guys didn't have any questions, so.
No. I see invoices for $133,871.03.
Make a motion, we pay the invoices.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next meeting date, July, I wrote it down.
I think it's July 12th.
July 12th.
July 12th.
Yeah, that one too.
I will miss that. Vacation.
July 12th, 5 p.m.
Works for me.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Any agenda items that you guys want for July meeting?
No. Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
Would one of you two sign off on the minutes since Sheila's not here, and then I have invoices for you to sign, so don't run off.
Let's sign off.
Nice teamwork, John.
Thank you.
Take care.
We're watching professional wrestling
It was the new chair.
We couldn't fall asleep in this meeting.
Put your,
Right? Yeah.
why you always gotta pick on me?
My health meeting was over 2
Yeah,
hours.
you got all those.
We had
We
our,
thought this would be longer.
we had our health services, the meeting yesterday, and I go, they're actually projecting it, looking at $700,000 over what budget at the end of the year.
Over budget.
Well, the cost of the institutions went down. No, it went up to send people to
you're
this.
spending way more.
Yeah.
700,000. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think the highway shop is gonna have a problem.
Well,
Too this year. Everybody did.
Brent was saying that basically every department that's, got a gas budget, they're all gonna be way over
Skyrocketing
budget.
faster.
Yeah.
We usually try to, at the end of the year, if you have some money left in the gas account, get extra spare tires for the small.
You're just gonna have to start pulling over more Illinois drivers.
Right?
I know, you don't wanna say it during the meeting.
That doesn't come into our line item, so that comes in, sorry.
No problem.
That comes into our field assessments. Yeah. Very fun.
Yeah.
Well, glad we got a quorum.
Yeah.
And that didn't reset, huh?
Nope.
That's supposed to.
Well, you gotta figure, that wasn't even 45 minutes ago, really. So.
Yeah. It's
And
supposed to.
it actually says, it's try again in 54 minutes.
Yeah. That's weird, 'cause, yeah.
I hate Apple.
Like, I should be able to.
Mine was gonna run out of battery.
Well, I reset at the last board meeting, I reset my password. I usually remember it real easy. For some reason, this time I didn't, and now it actually has me locked out.
Locked out, and now you're gonna need the experts from the IT department.
And then I can see like the budget.
I use Kodak program and stuff on mainframe.
We don't need to hear ourselves talk sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Right, I see why you hate it. Definitely.
Parents always wait for me to be down there till 7. Yeah, almost 6 months now.
Is this your bag over here?
That's mine, yes. Thank you.